The High Court yesterday overturned an order by the National Security Advisory Council that had directed the police service to crack down on public gatherings convened without a notice or such meetings that, in their opinion, could threaten the public peace. High Court Judge Anthony Mrima, who questioned the place of the National Security Advisory Council and said it has no power or place to direct the National Police Service in execution of police duties. This now means that actions by the police, who last October foiled 2 meetings of Deputy President William Ruto in Nyamira, were illegal. Sam Gituku explains.
The scenes at Kibirigo grounds in Nyamira County were the first impact of a directive of the National Security Advisory Council in October 2020. A meeting of the Deputy President to raise funds in support of Boda Boda riders of Nyamira County was stopped by the police. They were under instruction after Head of Public Service Joseph Kinyua, who chairs the National Security Advisory Committee, announced that all meetings would be required to be notified and cleared at least 3 days ahead. It was 7th of October 2020 when Joseph Kinyua announced the resolutions, saying, quote, NSAC hereby directs the relevant security organs to enforce these directives without fear or favor to the offenders, regardless of their economic standing, ethnicity, religion and political association and status, end of quote. A day later, the Cabinet ratified NSAC's resolutions in a meeting that was also attended by the Deputy President. That same day, the police were busy in Nyamira, scattering crowds that had gathered, waiting for Ruto. Interior CS Fred Matiang'i added his voice, saying NSAC's directives would secure the country's stability in a season that was inching closer to political polarization. It was a few days after one person died in clashes between youth camps in Keno, Murang'a County, ahead of Ruto's visit to the area.
Let us follow and respect the guidelines that were given by the National Security Advisory Committee. We support them because all of them are based on existing laws. Notification about meetings, notification about conduct of meetings and what we need to do. But let us not sacrifice the stability of our country.
10 months later, the High Court has pronounced itself that NSAC's directives were illegal and that the police ought not to take any instructions. Justice Mrima saying, quote, directives issued by NSAC and ratified by the Cabinet are unconstitutional, ineffective and void ab initio for directing the law enforcement officers on how to discharge their duties. The reason being that Article 245, Sub-Article 4 of the Constitution provides that no person may give a direction to the Inspector General with respect to, among other things, the investigation of any particular offence or offences, the enforcement of the law against any particular person or persons. There are only 2 government officers who may lawfully direct the Inspector General of Police, albeit in a limited manner. Article 245 provides the Cabinet Secretary responsible for police services may lawfully give a direction to the Inspector General with respect to any matter of policy for the National Police Service. The High Court finding the NSAC instructions ratified by the Cabinet were in no way within the constitutional allowance. Article 157, Sub-Article 4 provides that the Director of Public Prosecutions shall have power to direct the IG to investigate any information or allegation of criminal conduct, and the IG shall comply with any such direction. Justice Mrima has now issued a prohibition order restraining the Inspector General or any police officer from taking directives from NSAC or any other person, organ, body, or entity in the manner in which the IG or police officers should carry out their constitutional or statutory duties. Despite the orders of the court, the public order remains in force as the Court of Appeal in 2018 ruled it was constitutional. The police may enforce it, but on their own motion without instruction from any state organ. The judgment did not in any way invalidate current COVID-19 containment measures announced by the President. Sam Gituku, Citizen TV.